Whoa! Ha! Be gone! Oh, oh, hey! Good to have you back with me. It's me, Zane Holt, Wolf Brother, as my superhero alter alias. I am Nightman, and here I am with Tiger Claw and Poseidon, my trusty blades. And with these blades, I chase away all evil thoughts, all thoughts of ego, all negative emotions. I slay the inner demons found in every human being. And forever I will stand up and vanquish all evil demonic creatures, all ghouls, zombies, and evil werewolves and vampires. The renegade vampires in Nosferatu. I am Nightman. I am the slayer of all that is supernatural, all that is evil, including tyrants and all criminals and people out there that are malicious. I help to keep them in their place. I also chase away bad dreams as well, using certain powers I've developed, psychic powers. But enough about me. I am back. Once more, it's Zane Holt, aka Wolf Brother, as my superhero alter alias. I am Nightman. And, sometimes I get a tendency to get a little excited, especially when I'm out chasing away demon bats. But, getting back to my speech. So, hey, it's me again. And I just wanted to say to all of my fellow freaks out there, well, as you can see on my Inspirational Community Facebook page, a freak is, and while this is a borrowed definition, well, a freak is a fabulous person who has no need or desire to follow the flock, and no need to follow the herd. And to me, a freak is someone who is so incredibly different and eccentric that they just can't help but stand out in a crowd. And it's so good to have you back with me. And you know something? Well, if you fit that description that I just gave, well, I just wanted to let you know my opinion. And that opinion? Well, in my opinion, I think that you are fabulous. And I think that if you have love and goodness in your heart, well, I would just love to meet you. I really would. And never give up on your dreams. And never give up on love. And always be yourself. And always be proud. Proud of who you are. And know that, well, even if we never meet, well, you will always have my love, support, and my best wishes. And I would just like to say that you will always have a friend in me. And know that somewhere out in this wide world, well, someone sends out his love tonight. And just tone it down. I just wanted to talk on evolution, actually. And in regards to evolution, one thing to realize is that time is in fact made up. It is something that we have created in order to orient ourselves and to give order and structure to our lives and to be able to move through existence. But we do age. And for all physical forms, indeed all physical things, fall eventually into dissolution. In other words, nothing lasts forever. Another thing to keep in mind is that all things evolve, or they change. In fact, the very nature of existence itself is always change. We need to remember this. From earlier times, all things in existence came forth into being. And whatever you wish to call this creative force, God, or the consciousness behind existence, and a personal favorite term I use is the life force. Whatever you want to call the force behind existence, it was responsible for setting in motion an ever-growing trend toward ever-increasing order and complexity. This, my friends, is evolution in action. And of course, being Nightman, I'm fond of my schematics. And here I have another schematic that I set up. Let's let the camera zoom in here. Okay. So these are three major spheres of what is known as existence. Down here we have the physiosphere. The physiosphere, that includes all things physical, everything around us that we see. It incorporates all of physical reality, this reality that we're sharing. And getting back to the schematic, below the physiosphere, which of course once more is all things that are physical, all things of the universe, the physical world. Below is the biosphere, and this includes all of life and all life forms. It is in fact everything living. It's our living earth, the biosphere that we live upon. And below that is the noosphere, and these are all thoughts and ideas. All kinds of thoughts and ideas that we as human beings have made up, that have thought up, have conceived. All modes of thinking. And as you can see, getting back to the schematic again, this in fact is a sort of evolution from all things of matter, from matter to all things that are living, to thoughts, a species us that have conceived a new sphere, the noosphere. Now, I just showed you basically three major spheres of existence. Beyond that, over here, and of course I'm fond of the three eyes, I'm always talking about this, but the three eyes which represent modes of attaining knowledge. Now these are all belong to conceptions that we've created as human beings. So here of course, once more, the eye of flesh, science, that which is empirical, sphere methods of measurement, the things that we can see, quantify, and measure. All things of the physical reality. And of eye of contemplation once more, which is the religious, and of course I prefer the term spiritual, but this is once more living in the now, doing away with all negative modes of thinking, becoming aware of your own thoughts, becoming aware of body consciousness and breathing exercises, and being able to live within the present, and basically attaining higher modes of knowing and attaining higher modes of knowledge. Below, of course, is the eye of reason, which is all things of the mind, all abstract concepts, all different thoughts, different things that we've reasoned out. All spheres, of course, are interrelated, all affect each other, but all run alongside one another. All three make up the core of knowledge. The core of knowledge of all things that we know as human beings. Oh, back to the spheres again. And of course, as I mentioned before, between the eye of flesh, that which is science, realm of empirical measurement and observation, and eye of contemplation, all things religious or spiritual, attaining higher modes of knowing and knowledge of how we're connected to everything, and the eye of reason, of course, the eye of mind, which is all abstract thoughts and reasoning processes and abstract kinds of things that we've created and made up, and all related to each other. But in between, of course, is the metaphysical or the paranormal. The paranormal, something that I deal with on a regular basis. So, there's a concept, and it's a concept that I want to introduce to everybody. Well, this concept is known and acknowledged by some of the greatest minds on our world today. This concept, known as a holarchy, as opposed to a hierarchy, it's called a holarchy. And this is something that is known by many of the world's greatest scientists and thinkers and philosophers and spiritual teachers of our time. In the simplest of terms, a holarchy is an inclusive hierarchy. So it's like a hierarchy, but it's inclusive. Inclusive meaning that it contains great depth. A holarchy is characterized as an evolutionary process by which all things progress. And as things progress, they still include all of the earlier characteristics. This is like the building stones of what everything is. How things come together, how things evolve. Whenever something evolves, there are characteristics and things that the foundation of the evolution of that thing, it's built upon. So whatever the evolving subject is, it is constantly being built and contains earlier characteristics. Now actually I have some examples for that. Without going into too much detail, this is what is known as the exterior. Exterior of things. Individual things. This kind of shows evolution in action, and this would fall in line with the physiosphere that I mentioned and the biosphere. So physiosphere meaning physical things, and the biosphere, of course, meaning life and life forms. So here we have atoms progressing to molecules, progressing to prokaryotes, which of course are creatures or organisms lacking a cellular nucleus. Then there's the eukaryotes. So up here, this is like blue-green algae and bacteria, and below here is most other forms of life. Then there's neuronal organisms, meaning things that have basic nervous systems. Then there's the neural cord, which is kind of like the leading up to the spinal cord, the reptilian brainstem, the limbic system, the neocortex, which is what known as a triune brain, to a complex neocortex. So the evolution of mind and brain down here, but it's just from going all the way from atoms to molecules, through organisms, through all the different nervous systems, and then the different brain and systems in which is held within is held consciousness and mind. So this is an exterior individual kind of collective schematic of evolution in action. There's also interior, such as prehension, which is apprehending things around you, irritability and sensation. These are like feelings and perception, seeing, hearing. Then there's impulses and emotions. Then there's beyond emotion, there's the whole realm of symbols and concepts and abstract thinking and vision logic. This is kind of like an evolution of the mind, basically, or evolution of consciousness. This is an interior individual. Here we have interior collective or cultural. So we have things that are physical and pleromatic. See, some of these concepts or definitions, I won't go into too much detail, but they even perplexed someone such as myself. So this is pleromatic, which is basically self or individual, undifferentiated from cosmos or reality. And then there's, beyond that, what is called protoplasmic, pleromatic, then there's protoplasmic, which is protists and things like that, and vegetative. But these are realms of consciousness. Locomotive, euroboric, which is achieving a new state of self-awareness or being conscious. Then there's typhonic, which is living in the moment, or the present, typhonic. Then there's archaic, which is an early period, the dawn of civilization. It says race's earliest roots, a beginning time for conscious man, the archaic. And beyond archaic, there's what is known as the magic, the mythic, the rational, the centauric. These are all have to do with kind of a spiritual and religious, and beyond religious, there's the rational mind, and then the centauric. Again, this is kind of coming back and realizing how we are connected to everything, even though we are also related to animals. So that's another evolution. Here's another one, exterior collective social. This includes from galaxies to planets to Gaia system, the Earth system, heterotrophic ecosystems, societies with divisions of labor, groups and families, tribes, tribal village, early state and empire, nation state, and planetary civilization. So this is a whole kind of concept here with galaxies leading to planets, leading to our living Earth, leading to different ecosystems, living functional ecosystems, and then going into divisions of labor and groups and families and tribes, which we're all a part of, tribal village, and onwards. So this is how we have evolved, and we're heading toward, of course, we're heading toward a planetary civilization. Something else. Here's another schematic here. This is a left-hand paths interior. This is right and right-hand paths exterior. So basically these are two modes of knowing. This would belong mainly to the realm of the mind. But there are applications to science, two other things too. Left is internal, the realm of emotions and thoughts and concepts and symbols, and right is things exterior. This is more like science and everything outside, looking at something without going into depth, looking at the surfaces. Right surfaces, left is inside or depth. Here we have, and we'll try to go through this a little faster. This is quite a little more complicated, but here we have interior left-hand paths, exterior over here, exterior right-hand paths. So basically this just gives some examples, for individual subjective in the left, there's the truthfulness, sincerity, integrity, trustworthiness. These are inside types of things coming from someone like an individual. Over here though, so there's truth, correspondence, representation, and propositional. This has to do more with societies or with the surface of things and definitions of things, but at a surface level where this is all within. Over here we have we, which is collective, and for we, this is a left hand interior, so there's justness, a cultural fit, a mutual understanding, rightness. This is all interior, intersubjective. Over here we have collective, this is a right hand, and functional fit, systems theory, web, structural functionalism, social systems, mesh. These are broader based topics that kind of talk about society and how different people fit in, but this is more within like systems and theories of things. And over here, this is more interior and things that are felt inside. Here's a schematic here. These are the major epochs of human civilization. So we went from a foraging or hunter-gatherer to horticultural, and from horticultural, we came up with using animals and ox power and plows, and that became agrarian. For most of our history, we've either been one of these three: foraging, hunter-gatherer, horticultural, or on a broader scale, agrarian. The foraging, hunter-gatherer, and horticultural is probably taken up most of our time here on the planet, but certainly the agrarian allowed the rise of nation-states and cities and even empires. And most of our civilization, time we had civilization was in the agrarian phase, but industrial is fairly recently, just within the last few centuries. But we're heading into an informational age, and through technologies and derived from the information age and things that are developing right now, such as genetics, robotics, nanotechnology, we're heading to an ability to transcend our biology. And then from there, where do we go? Only God knows. It's actually difficult to totally predict where these technologies are going to take us, but we will basically evolve toward a super race. That's, of course, future. So, I wanted to, at this point, to bring up what I feel is a valid truth. And this truth is going to have to wait, but I will continue shortly.